From our previous video we have successfully understood the concept of triggers and how to create and apply on accounts object. In this session we will learn about types of triggers and trigger context variables. There are two types of triggers. Before triggers are used to update or validate record values before DML operation is performed on them. After triggers are used to access field values that are set after the DML operation is performed by the system, such as a record's IT or last modified date field, and to effect changes in other records. The records that fire the after trigger are read-only context variables. To access the records that caused the trigger to fire, for example, trigger.new contains all the records that were inserted in insert or update triggers. Trigger.old provides the old version of S objects before they were updated in update triggers, or a list of deleted S objects in delete triggers. This example is a modified version of the A to Z creations trigger of previous video. It iterates over each account in a for a loop and updates the description field for each. Let's try the above example. After saving above trigger, let's create new account. Enter description. Click Save when done entering values. Verify the account description field after saving. The trigger execution has modified the description field of the newly created account. Context variables comes in very handy when bulk update of multiple objects are required. The system saves the records that fired the before trigger after the trigger finishes execution. You can modify the records in the trigger without explicitly calling a DML insert or update operation. If you perform DML statements on those records, you get an error. Some other context variables return a Boolean value to indicate whether the trigger was fired due to an update or some other event. These variables are useful when a trigger combines multiple events. For example, here an example is insert checks whether the trigger is fired on insertion event and is before or is after checks before or after the event sequence. For more about trigger context variables, the link is in the description. Like and subscribe for more videos.